Good afternoon. Welcome to the last online seminar from the series of 8 online seminars organized as a part of the project NiCE, from niche to the center, which is focused on bringing the circular lifestyle into the city centers. The topic of today's online seminar is from NiCE pilot to the practice, tools, policies, and social engagement for circular lifestyles in cities. And we will go through all these topics. First, we are facing two challenges in the NiCE project. The first is about the city centers because they are changing. In the recent decades, citizens and cities had developed into resource-intensive centers of consumptions. We had the structure with promote consumption, like a lot of advertising, sales, low prices, chain stores, and a lot of new products. In addition, now the online trade is growing with the increasingly shift consumptions from the city centers to the digital sphere. In the connection with the COVID-19 pandemic, the numbers shops had to close, especially in the smaller cities. The second challenge refers to alternative consumption models and circular lifestyle offers, which could lead to the more circularity and less resource use. The alternative offers like repair, upcycling, sharing, and swapping and sustainable products alternatives are located usually not in the city centers. The alternative circular lifestyle offers remain in their niche. They are poorly accessible most of the time and also known by little group or the specific group of people. Therefore, we tried to solve this with a NiCE project, and we wanted to bring these two challenges together using the transformation of the city center to strengthen sustainable and circular consumption structures, and at the same time to reanimate city centers in the more circular way. And we also wanted to share our learnings and develop tools to support cities and other actors. So this is the consortium of the project. The consortium is 9 partners from the 9 countries. We are funded by the Interreg Central Europe program. And as you can see, we started in May 2023, and now we are close to our final week because the end of the project is officially at the end of April 2026. I told you about the circular lifestyles, which is also the part of the name of the NiCE project. And now you are maybe wondering what the circular lifestyle is. So in general, it refers to everyday practice based on the reuse, repair, sharing, and responsible consumption. And these can be linked to the different options for closing resource loops. For example, short loops like refuse, reduce, and resell. Medium long loops like refurbish, remanufacture, and repurpose. And finally, long loops like recycling. And this was NiCE about. We looked at the activating of underused spaces. We tried to link environmental, social, and economic values. We also focus on actors like enablers in urban areas for a circular lifestyle, and we pursued this concept of circular economy citizenship. And now we can show you what we did in the project to address the described challenges. And we started the pilot activities in 8 European cities, which you can see on this slide. In our approach, 2 cities build a tandem on one specific topic. So we had these 4 topics. First is the resource centers, which was solved in the Brzeg in Poland and in Ptuj in Slovenia. Then the activation of vacant spaces held in Košice, Slovakia, and Graz, Austria, connecting online and offline trade in Würzburg, Germany, and Jihlava, Czech Republic, and activation of the citizens, which was in Budapest, Hungary, and Bologna, Italy. So the first pilot topic is to initiate the reuse of the vacant spaces in the city centers. So the core message was that the vacant spaces can become visible hubs for circular entrepreneurship and community engagement. So the first pilot took place in Graz in Austria, and we tested here the pop-up store for circular products. There also were upcycling workshops and demonstrations. It was the cooperative shop sharing model, and it was really the testing of the future permanent circular hub concept. The organizational model was led by SMEs and with the support from the municipality. It was a shared retail space for multiple entrepreneurs, and there was a strong collaboration with the local circular businesses. The target group of this pilot was small city entrepreneurs, also city visitors, city center visitors, environmentally conscious consumers, and local residents. Then in Košice, Slovakia, we tested a reuse center, including the collection and the redistribution of the second-hand items to the people from vulnerable groups. It also included the educational workshop and creative workshops. There was donation campaigns for social services provider and community events such a book swap. Organization model was led by NGOs with the support from municipality and in cooperation with NGOs, social services, municipalities, and other organizations. The target group of Reuse Center Košice was local residents, AGOs, and social services providers, workshop participants as well. The next topic of the pilot was about the implementation of resource centers. Core message was that multifunctional resource centers can strengthen local skills, social ties, and circular practices. So in Brzeg in Poland, we built a multi-center zero waste where people could attend the sewing, carpentry, and furniture renovation workshops. There were also zero waste cooking and upcycling activities. And what is important, the multi-center will be further running after the project ends. Organization model is led by the municipality. There is a strong cooperation between municipality, NGOs, and local businesses. And the target groups was local residents and families, children and young, and volunteers. The second part of this pilot was in Ptuj in Slovenia, and here we tested the pop-up store, including the space for artists to showcase their products and art, but also we were awareness-raising events and also inclusive workshops. Organization model was supported by the municipality. It was an open platform for artists, NGOs, and citizens, and there was a cooperation with the social institutions. Target group of this pilot was local artists and creative community, city center visitors, including tourists, NGOs, and also people with disabilities. The third pilot was about the linking sustainable e-commerce with the city center. The core message was that technology and sustainable logistics can expand the reach and impact of the circular services, which was challenging because there are not that much approaches to pursue this topic. And for that, we work together with the Stilo Ihlava, which is also running the local reuse center. And we digitalized the reuse center operations to better track the material flow. For that, we used an AI-supported item recognition tool. There were also reuse days, awareness raising events organized as well. And the AI tool will be further used in Jihlava, and it will also potentially expand to other reuse centers in the Czech Republic with the help of Reuse Federation of Czech Republic. The organizational model was initialized by SMEs. There was cooperation with the city center, also the collaboration with the Reuse Federation. The target group was reuse centers, users, staffs, and citizens participating in the events and circular economy networks. The second part of this topic was in Würzburg, in Germany. In Würzburg, we tested the bicycle service for repair and rented goods. And with that, we wanted to address so-called last mile of e-commerce. And we wanted to offer greener transportation options for greener products. And we also linked to the service offers to the events. For example, we organized the first bicycle cinema in Würzburg, which was the great success. Operational model. It was initialized by the governmental institutions. There was the partnerships between the NGOs and the SMEs. And what is really interesting, it was the integration into existing sustainable initiatives. The target groups was the residents outside the city centers and the user of repair and rental services. And the final, about the fourth pilot, it was about the activation of user for circular lifestyle. The core message was that the citizen activation, education, and co-creation are powerful drivers of circular lifestyles. So it took place in Bologna and Budapest, and in Bologna we had the pilot action called Aqua in Circolo. And these activities were tested in urban and school living labs. Within the Aqua in Circolo, there were diverse rainwater harvesting system activities with the citizens. And we tested the school living lab on the water conservation and different hands-on and co-design and awareness-raising activities as well within this pilot. These activities will continue after the project end. Organization model of the Bologna pilot was led by the sectoral agency. There was a cooperation with municipality, university, and the community, and also the integration of technical expertise and citizen engagement. The target group of this pilot was local residents, community gardens, university community, and also the students. The second part of this topic was placed in Budapest at the University of Technology and Economics. And here the pilot included a university living lab format. There was developed also a sustainable business model design course where students collaborated with the local circular businesses. And this course is foreseen to continue for the next semester as well. So the organizational model of Budapest pilot was led by the public university. There was also the integration into higher education curriculum, and there was a cooperation with the local enterprises. The target groups were the university students, local citizens, partners, businesses, and academic community. So this was a rush through the pilot, what we already did. And almost all pilots will continue with some activities also after the end of the project, which is really great success for our project, and we are really happy for that. So as you can see, a lot of things happened in the last 3 years, focused first on the launching and then on the running of the pilots in the 8 cities. And after these 3 years, we identified what really works and also what limit the impact and of such activities implemented in the Central Europe. So starting from the success factors. First of all, what is the key? So the key to have a successful initiative like this is strong local networks. You could see it in our pilots that it was really not only the one institution that was running the pilot. It was usually several institutions collaborating and making the pilot work. Typically, it can be municipality, civil society, businesses, schools, NGOs, etc. It really helps people to understand what circular economy is and to also to change their behavior. Then, accessible, visible space that attract walks in is very important as well. Then, what is important is the support from the institutions, such as public institutions, for example, from companies that can provide space, that can provide equipment and material. Very useful are also engaging hands-on formats like workshops, swaps, and co-creation activities which build strong ownership. Now about the barriers. So the lack of central space was a barrier for people to identify the pilot and take the part in it. Also, the short pilot duration, like a pop-up. Pop-up initiatives are good to test something, but then you need to think how to make it, how to make the initiative last longer, how to duplicate it, or to organize something similar. The financial barriers are serious as well, and another barrier were the digital gaps, for example, missing online payments, and this was also limit for the accessibility. Now about the lessons learned and recommendations from our pilots. So the key findings are that hands-on and community-based activities are the best to promote circular lifestyle. If people can really engage, this is the best habit for them to understand and to change their behavior. Also, multi-stakeholders cooperation is essential. If you would like to implement similar activities in your city, first of all, start from the clearly defining the target group. If this could be maybe young people, students, adults, seniors, or someone else, or maybe you want to cover all of them, you need to start with this. And then ask them what they really need, what offer is missing in their area, so that you could shape your initiative around those needs. Secondly, keep formats simple and flexible. You need to be ready to adjust it. And the best idea is to integrate your initiative into the existing strategies, existing institutions, because this way you are backed. A big institutions that already exist and has all the procedures and the partnerships. This is the really important. So you not rely on one or two person or two people who are really engaged, work with other organizations, work with volunteers, work with the target group itself, because they can really help to maintain and be your initial success. And now, how to translate this to a bigger picture, to the policy recommendations. So what we recommend to both local policymakers, but also to the national and EU level. These are the results of our workshop we had 1 month ago in the Dessau Roslaw during the NiCE final conference of the project. So we came up with 4 groups of recommendations. The first group is the quick wins. So these activities are quite feasible and have a high impact, such as local awareness actions, for example, screens in the public transport, sustainability ambassadors, or EU Week for Waste Reduction. Then second group are the strategic challenges which have high impact but are harder to implement. There is important to provide financial support for the local circular initiatives. So these are the bottom-ups initiatives that should be supported because they have often lack of stable financing. So this is really important to use the local potential and just to provide them financial services, financial resources to continue the process. Another powerful tool are the structural reforms like education curricula, subsidies, and EU directives. The third group are easy takes, which are feasible but with a lower impact. What is helpful here is information campaigns and translation, circular concept, and national support. Last group are lower priority with the low impact and feasibility. And here we can find tools like a complex instrument like VAT reduction and another measures. So if you would like to implement circular lifestyle in your local level, we have a solution for you and we can provide the support for you. Within this project, we developed a knowledge platform and you can see the address and QR code here. Now, I will give you a short introduction to this platform. I will share my screen with the web application. Okay, so here we are on the home page of the platform. So you can see the basic informations like the definition of the circular lifestyles and the overview what you can find on this platform. At the end, here is the project video, which I really recommend you to watch because it is really nice. The contact page, you can find all the contact of all project partners. So in case you need any support from us, do not hesitate to contact us. Contacts are here. So here is the section with our online seminars. As I mentioned in the beginning, we had 8 online seminars. All of them you can find here. Here is the description and there the recording of the video. Another page is about the pilot blocks. Here you can find also all pilot blocks. And you can read the detailed information about the pilots. And at the end, you can find a really catchy video from every one pilot. Also, here you can find also as well the pilot information in the printable format. So this was about the pilots. Another very interesting tool is a virtual exhibition. It is an interactive online space which showcase 30 inspiring circular economy projects across the Europe. So using the arrows, you can take a walk through the exhibition, through the virtual space, with the screens, with photos, you can click on it, or with the videos, which looks like that, for example. You can read more about each and every initiative here. So you can walk through the virtual space, or you can travel really fast if you use the map. The map looks like that, and you can choose what would you like to see, and then click to fast travel, and you are there. So feel free to explore our virtual exhibition. And now the most important part of the platform is the page with the resources. So here's the page with the resources. Here you can find the useful tool and tested solutions for the integration of the circular economy into the city centers. First one is the solution box. The solution box consists of 4 guides. These 4, you can see it here. And Solution Box is a practical toolkit based on the experience from 8 pilot activities across Central Europe, and it provides tested methods, tools, and case studies to reactivate vacant space, engage stakeholders, connect online and offline commerce, and promote sustainable behavior. Then the next section is about the circular lifestyle tools. And this section provides practical and strategic resource to support cities, organizations, and communities in advancing circular lifestyles. It combines analytical tools, policy frameworks, and evidence-based insight to help stakeholders assess their current situation, define the priorities, and monitor the progress. So you can find here the monitoring tool, strategy framework, evaluation framework, as well as action model plans. And here is the section dedicated to the professional articles written by our university partner from Budapest, and it is really inspiring reading. And last but not least, there is some education materials that inspire people of all ages to adopt circular lifestyle through practical, creative, and engaging activities. They build knowledge, skills, and responsibility by showing how reusing, repair, and sharing can be simple, encouraging mindfulness, consumption, and sustainable everyday habits. You can find the games here, also the quizzes, the workshop guides, if you are interested to organize a workshop, and some special content like young research approach for circular economic education, and also plant-based cooking. So you are invited to explore the platform, and now we can go back to the presentation. Okay. So the last slide. First, we were working on the policy papers based on the recommendations and learning we shared with you earlier. So we will work on the local action plans implementation to promote the circular lifestyles. We have developed the project with the project of consortium 3 local action plans for the cities like Brzeg-Dolny, Dessau, Roslav, and Graz. We are we also developed the action model plan. So if you are interested in developing your own local action plan for your city, you can use our action model plan and just implement it in your city. Then the project partners also with the associated partners have signed a memorandum of understanding for the further cooperation on the topic of circular lifestyle in the city center. So with the project consortium and the associated partners, there will be the further future activities regarding these topics. And we also have applied for a follow-up project at the Central Europe program, which is called Circle Link. And with this project, we want to connect SMEs, citizens, and public authorities across the sectors and across the borders, and fostering joint circular economy actions and reducing systematic barriers to collaboration and knowledge transfer. We will get to know about the funding decision by the end of the May, so let's keep the finger crossed. If you would like to use some of our tools, or you have questions, or you need some support by using our tools, please contact us. You will find the contact detail on the platform. Also, we have a NiCE project website on the Interact. So that was the outlook to the future for the NiCE, and I hope we will stay in touch and continue working with these topics. So that's all from my side. Thank you for being here, and goodbye.